Good morning all. Today I am going to discuss about methods of pricing the materials issue. So already I am discussing in previous class, giving brief introduction. Suppose if I are taking an example, suppose we are producing 10,000 units in a 1 month. You are purchasing raw materials, suppose 3 or 4 times in 1 month. So first time some price, and second time some of the price, different price, and third time of purchase there is different price, and fourth time of purchase there is a different price. So then how to finalize the raw material cost for total 10,000 units, because all are in same batch, that means same month production. So but we have to add the raw material cost to the cost of production, then only you are deciding the price of the product. Okay, so that's why there is a need to calculate raw material cost. So how you are able to calculate this cost? For this purpose, in this situation, so I am already giving example. According to that example, in that particular situation, then how to calculate the raw material cost? Then in materials management, they are developing 4 methods for this problems. First in, first out, last in, first out, simple average price method, and weighted average price method. There are 4 methods deciding the price of the raw material. Okay, so then first in, first out. Let's see about first in, first out. In this system, the materials first received or issued first materials from the second lot are issued only. So first in, first out means those who are coming in first, then you are issuing that materials. Suppose we have 3 batches stock, that means suppose in Jan 1st there is some stock received, and January 5th we are receiving some stock, and January 10th we are receiving some stock. Then you are issuing for the production raw materials Jan 1st stock, that is first in, first out. Those who comes into the stock which is coming into the first, that will be released first in the first in, first out method. Okay, so in this system, the materials first received are issued first materials, from the second lot are issued only. So after that, second lot. Okay, so in this way we are distributing the raw materials to the production department. Okay, this is the job of stores manager. So storekeeper or store manager may see all these things. So when first lot is exhausted and so on, when first lot is completed, then only the second lot will be issued. The price of the materials are charged at the cost at which that lot was purchased. Okay, so the prices of the materials are charged at the cost at which that lot was purchased. Okay, so the lot, when you are purchasing the first lot, the price is there, some price is there, then you have to take that price for first lot, and for second lot, the second lot price is different, then you are using second lot materials, then you are taking the price of second lot price, and then after second lot there is a third lot, and then you are using third lot material, then you are using the third lot price. In this way, you are using the prices. Okay, you are taking the prices. You are deciding the prices for the raw material. That is the first in, first out. And second one is last in, first out, LIFO. So last in, first out method in this system, the materials first received are issued first materials. From the second lot are issued only when first lot is exhausted on the price of material charged at the cost at which the lot was purchased. Okay. So in this last in, first out, okay. So in typing there is problem. So in this last in, first out method, the last item is issued first, and then you have to, after that the second lot, after that the third lot. But which is coming last, that is last in, first out. But typing mistake, no problem at all. So then only the second lot, that means which is coming second one. That means suppose reverse dates, first 5th 10th, then you are issuing 10th date raw material, after that 5th date raw material, after that first date raw material. The prices of the raw materials are charged at the cost at which the lot was purchased. Same thing in same manner. Okay, that is last in, first out, LIFO. Then these two are the standardized methods. This is a good one. So because the above two things are not exactly, they are not accurate prices, but in these two we are getting the accurate prices, at least the minimum. Okay, so in this method the stock are issued at an average price. The average price is determined by dividing the sum of the prices at which the goods are received by the number of prices available. Suppose I give the example. Okay, suppose first lot, suppose you are purchasing raw materials 4 times in a month. Suppose first raw material, first first lot is purchased for 300 rupees, suppose example, and second lot is purchased with 400 rupees. And third lot is purchased with 500 rupees. Then how you find out the average price? So 300 plus 400 plus 500 by 3. So because 3 prices are there, so 700 plus 500, 1200. So 1200 by 3. So that is 400. So the average raw material price is 400. Then you consider the raw material price is 400 rupees. So in this way you have to calculate. Okay. So that is simple average price method, something better than before. Okay. So then weighted average price method. So next we have to see. So weighted average price method, that is another one, fourth one. So this method is an improvement over simple average price. This is the method is improved by simple average price method. While calculating the average price, the quantities of each of the receipts are considered. The weighted average price is calculated as given below. So there is a formula. Just to see the formula, then you understand. Then you are able to understand. So weighted average price equal to W1 into P1 plus W2 into P2 plus W3 into P3 by W1 plus W2 plus W3. So where W1, W2 and W3 refer to the quantities of each of the 3 receipts, and P1, P2 and P3 are the prices of each of the receipts. Okay. So these two are different. W1, that means quantities of each of the 3 receipts, and P1, P2, P3 are the receipts prices of each of the receipts. Okay. Suppose I'm explaining with this some example. So suppose for first lot you are purchasing 100 kilos. The price of the 1 kilo is suppose 2 rupees. Then 100 into 2, 200 rupees. That is W1 into P1. Okay. Plus W2 into P2. Okay. Okay. Then so see the example. Suppose W1. So W1, that means quantity. Suppose 200 units. And the price of the each unit is suppose 2 rupees. Then W1 into P1 formula. So 200 into 2, 400. Okay. So that is W1 into P1 plus W2 into P2. So suppose W2 is W2 equal to suppose 300. So P2 price of the unit equal to 3 rupees. So 900. So W2 is 900. So in this way, you have to calculate. After that, so W1 into P1 400 and W2 into P2 900 and some W3 into P3. Some suppose taking example 200 into 3 600 divided by W1 plus W2 plus W3. W1 is 200, W2 is 300 and W3 is 200. So 200 plus 300 plus 200. So 5 plus 2 700. Okay. So 200 400 plus 900 plus 600. So 1900 by 700. Okay. So 1900 by 700, that is the weighted average price. Okay. So then you have to calculate 1900 by 700. Okay. 1900 by 700. So the weighted average price is 2.71. Okay. So the answer is 2.71. So that is the weighted average price of the raw material. Okay. So this is the best one in all methods. So we are getting accurate value of the raw material. So under this method, the quantity of each of the receipt is called the weight. Hence the average price is so computed is called the weighted average price. Okay. So weighted average is calculated after each time a purchase is made. When you are purchasing some raw material, then you have to consider that one also. So then W4. So next one is there. Then W4 into P4 and in bottom also W1 plus W plus W2 plus W3 plus W4 like this. Okay. So in this way, you have to calculate the weighted average price for raw materials. Okay. So this is about the methods of pricing methods of raw materials. Okay. Then in this unit, only one topic is left. So already I am discussing, but types of the ABC analysis is missed in that class. Now I am discussing about just I am giving brief introduction about ABC analysis. In ABC analysis, we are giving priority to the raw materials. The types of raw materials is different. So some of having high value that are comes under group A, and medium value that are comes under B, and low value that are comes under group C. Okay. So how you maintain this stock? So category A, the value of the raw material is 70% and you have to maintain the volume of 10%. only 10% value, then desired degree of control is strict. That means they are having high value. 70% is the value of that raw material. So that means they have highest value. Then the desired degree of control is also strict. That means you have to monitor in a strict manner because they are having high value. So you have to control the wastage. Then you need a degree of control is a strict manner. And after that, B category. So value of the raw material is 20%, and then you have to maintain the 20% volume. That means quantity. So then moderate. Desired degree of control is moderate. And third category, value of the raw material is 10%, and you have to maintain the quantity sound because that is a low price item. Then you have to maintain in a high quantity. Then you have to maintain 70%. So total 100%. Value is 100% and volume is 100%. 70 plus 20 plus 10, that is 100%, and 10 plus 20 plus 70, that is also 100%. So the degree of control is the value. It depends upon the value of the raw material, whether it is a valuable product, valuable raw material, then there is a strict control. And medium value, moderate, and low value, no need of high degree of control. That is very low degree of control. So this is a simple ABC analysis. And after that, what are the types of ABC analysis? Okay, now we are discussing about types of ABC analysis. Okay. Then types of ABC analysis. First one is VED analysis. So this classification is applicable only for spare parts. It is particularly developed for spare parts and is based on critically. In general, critically of a spare part can be determined from the production downtime loss due to spare being not available when required. Because the spare parts are not available regularly in the market, then you need that spare part. Then without that spare part, you are unable to complete the manufacturing of our product. Then you face a critical problem. So the VED analysis is done to determine the criticality of an item and its effect on production and other services. Because it is a valuable spare part, then you are giving some priority. So the priority will be decided in the VED analysis. So depending upon the priority, you have to maintain the spare parts. Okay. So vital. First one is in VED analysis. First one is vital. So V for vital. A spare part will be termed as vital if on account of its non-availability there will be very high loss due to production downtime. So in production downtime, if you are not having this spare part, there is a very high loss, and also a very high cost will be involved if the part is procured on emergency basis. Suppose you need it. Suppose now oxygen. So before that there is no need of oxygen. So now suddenly the oxygen demand will be increased right now, but we are unable to generate that much of oxygen according to the demand because we are not ready for that. Okay, so then you have to pay high cost. Okay, so due to unavailability of oxygen, just like this, it is a vital part. Without this, we are unable to produce the product. Then you have to pay much more money to that product. Then you have to purchase it. That's why you have to maintain adequate level. That means if you are required or not, then you have to maintain this one, because at that time you have to pay high value, high price. That's why you have to maintain the adequate quality. Okay, adequate quantity. Then essential. A spare part will be considered essential if due to its non-availability moderate loss is incurred. That means medium loss, not high loss. That part will be considered as essential. So E. So, and third one, C, desirable. Desirable, D means desirable. So a spare part will be desirable if the production loss is not very significant due to its non-availability. Most of the parts will fall under this category. So it is not desirable. Is there any loss? Is there no loss? And very significant due to its non-availability. Okay, if it is there or not, there is no loss because it's not much more desirable. So most of the parts will fall under this category. Most of the parts are comes under this category. The VD analysis helps in focusing and attention of the management on vital items. So in this way, the management grouped the spare parts like this way. So V group and E group and D group. So you have to maintain V group raw material, V group spare parts in a high quantity, and E group in a medium quantity, and D group in a low quantity. Okay, like this, they are maintaining the spare parts in the stores. Okay, so this is very much useful to the management. Okay, so this is about VED analysis. After that, FSN analysis. Okay, so FSN analysis is mostly used for fast moving consumer goods. Okay, so and slow moving and non moving consumer goods all for. So that means consumer goods. Okay, so consumer goods, it is mainly used for moving consumer goods. So it is FSN classification is based on frequency of issues. Use F, S and N stands for fast moving, S for slow moving, and N for non moving items. Okay, F means fast moving, S for slow moving, N for non moving. Okay, so the frequency of issues, that means how many times it will be issued, that is frequency. So depending upon the frequency, you have to categorize the material into three categories: fast moving, slow moving, non moving. So this form of classification identifies the items frequency issued. Okay, less frequency issued for use under the items when are not issued for longer period, say 2 years. Okay, so this form of classification identifies the items frequently issued, okay, and less frequently issued, and the items which are not issued for longer period. Three types. Okay, so frequently issued, less frequently issued, not issued for long period. That means 2 years, up to 2 years. That is comes under non-moving items. So fast moving items have items that are frequently issued, say more than once a month. Okay, so that means more than once a month, and that means in month at least one time or more than one time. That is called as fast moving item. And slow moving item, S, means items that are issued less than once a month. Okay, so less than once a month, less than once a month means, so less than once a month, that means once or not, that means 2 months or 3 months at least. Okay, so it takes 2 or 3 months for issuing, so that will be called as slow moving item. So for every month more than once a month, that is fast moving. So not less than once a month is slow moving. And non moving means items that are not issued used for more than 2 years, that is called as non moving items. So depending upon this, you have to maintain the stock. So fast moving item, you have to maintain high quantity, and slow moving moderate, medium level, and third one non moving, so very low quantity. Okay, so this is called as FSN analysis. Okay, then SDE analysis. Okay, so SDE analysis, that is, this classification is carried out based on the lead time required to procure the items. Okay, that means procurement time. Then that means you have to give an order, but it takes some time while receiving the stock. Okay, so you place the order, you are not getting immediately after placing the order, depending upon the lead time. That means placing of order and receiving the stock, the time between these two things is called as lead time. That is very, very important. So once again I am repeating, lead time means that the time you have to place the order and the time you have to receive the stock. So there is a gap in between these two things, the days in between, the time in between these two things, that is called as lead time. Okay, so Depending upon this lead time, then you have to categorize into three types. That is SDE analysis. Okay. So the classification is as follows. So SDE, S for scarcity, D for difficult, and E for easily available. So scarcity means very rare item. It is not regularly available in the market. So very limited item. So there is a scarcity in the market. Then you are placing the order. So more than 6 months you have to get it after placing the order. Okay. So items which are imported and those items which required more than 6 months lead time. When you are placing the order and you are receiving the stock in between time more than 6 months, the lead time is more than 6 months, that will be treated as scarcity item. That means it is rarely available in the market. So if you need this, but you are not getting in an immediate manner, so that is a scarcity item. And be difficult. Okay. So next item is difficult D. Items which require more than a fortnight but less than 6 months lead time. Okay. So that means items which require more than a fortnight but less than 6 months. Okay. So less than 6 months means lead time is less than 6 months. So when you are placing the order, you are receiving the material less than 6 months. So that item will be treated as difficult item. It is indicated with D. Okay. Then next one is easily available, E. So items which are easily available, mostly local items, less than a fortnight's lead time. Okay. So very less lead time. That means they are easily available in the market. Mostly local items, just a 1 day issue or 2 days issue. So this classification helps in reducing the lead time required, at least in case of vital items. Ultimately, this will reduce stockouts cost in case of stockouts. So if suppose if you are facing stockout issues, then this analysis is useful. So you have to maintain scarce item in a high quantity and a difficult item in a medium quantity and easily available item in a low quantity, because it is frequently available in the market and easily available in the market. That is SDE analysis. Okay. Then last one is HML analysis. So that is high cost items, medium cost items, and low cost items. This is depending upon the price of the each piece. So the cost per item is considered for this analysis. The items of inventory should be listed in the descending order of unit value, and it is up to the management to fix limits for these categories. So grouped as first one high price items, and second one medium price items, and low cost items low L. Okay. So low cost items. Then you have to sort out depend according to the price of the item. So in a descending order, low price item first, second medium price, and high cost items. Then you have to arrange in this way. Then you have to quantity, how much quantity and how much, that means limits, how much quantity you have to maintain. The limits will be decided by the management. Okay. So high cost items H, medium cost items M, and low cost items L help in bringing controls over consumption of the departmental level. So you have to control in the department level also. So high cost item, medium cost item, low cost item. So the classification is as follows. High cost items whose more unit value is very high, and medium cost items whose units value is of medium value, and low cost items whose unit value is low. This type of analysis helps in exercising control at the shop floor level at the use point. So at the use point, that means where the raw materials are used, then you have to strict control on high cost items, and we have moderate control on medium cost items, and we have control on low cost items in a low level. So according to the cost of the raw material, then you have to maintain the strict control on the raw materials usage. Okay, so that is a important thing in the HML analysis. So in this way, you have to maintain the raw materials or something, spare parts or something. So anything, you have to maintain the stock according to the these type of according to or depending on these types. So the material belongs to which category, depending upon the price or depending upon the availability and depending upon the lead time. So you have to consider, we have to consider all these things. So availability and lead time and movability and value. Okay, value of the product. Okay, so and criticality. So according to these depending upon all these things, you have to maintain the raw materials in the stores. Okay, so this is very important thing in the raw materials, that means inventory control or raw materials management. Okay, so that's it. Okay.